Hey everybody, it's the Dutchman, and this tinkering video will highlight the installation steps of the New Rage Cycles mirror block-off turn signals for the Ducati 1299 Panigale. Let me start by saying I was concerned that these little lights wouldn't be big or bright enough, but pictures and videos on the internet don't really do them justice. On a 1299 forum, other guys had the same concern, but there was an overwhelming positive opinion from people who had already installed them. Now, something this small has an easy chance of feeling flimsy or cheap, but when I got these in my hand, they felt pretty sturdy. The LEDs are packed in some sort of high-density plastic, the machine screws are countersunk perfectly flush with the aluminum plates, and they've gone so far as to add a little bit of soft padding to the part that's going to touch your paint. Come to think of it, the wires are a decent gauge, and they terminate nicely into a wiring harness that clips right into the stock mirror connector. You might remember seeing a previous video of mine where I carefully removed my stock mirrors.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
I put CRG Aero bar end mirrors on my bike, which are great because they actually serve the purpose of a mirror. The stock mirrors shook just enough to make them useless, so at this point I had mirrors but no front turn signals. Alright, let's get into it. First things first.
What's in the box?
In the box, hopefully you'll find all the required pieces. There's no way to know which pieces these might be because there are no instructions. None in the box, none on the website. I realize that installing these is a fairly simple task, and some people might say that if you don't know where to put a washer, you should be drug out into the street and shot. But I hate to get halfway through any install and realize I don't have everything that's needed to complete the task. Here's what you should see when you open the box. 2 block-off plates, 4 machine screws, 4 washers, 4 lock nuts, and 4 rubber caps. The required tools for this consist of a 4mm hex, a 16th inch hex, and some kind of 1/4 inch wrench or socket. Use the 4mm hex to remove the stock mirrors. Once you get those out of the way, feed the new block-off wires through so you can connect the wiring harnesses. I like to test these before screwing everything down in case there's an issue. Pull the front fairing up a little bit and tuck the wires into the little channel on the back side of the subframe. It gets a little tight back there, but they'll fit so that the front fairing sits nicely on the subframe. Grab 2 of the provided screws. You'll need to ram them through the spongy material. Meet each of those with a washer and lock nut on the other side. Then use the 16-inch hex and the 1/4 inch wrench or socket to tighten. Do the same on the other side. Finally, eyeball the rubber caps and cut them to size. Slip them on and you're all set. Alright, that's it for this one. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments below and I'll do my best to try and answer them. If this happens to be the first video of mine that you've seen, please consider subscribing where the bulk of my content is on 1299. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.
Shit.
Panigale's full TFT dashboard display. It took me a while to track down exactly what TFT meant because the acronym is never mentioned in the owner's or service manuals, but it does indeed stand for Thin Film Transistor. Now that I know what it stands for, I somehow feel cheated that it wasn't as good as the TFT definitions on Urban Dictionary. For example, TFT could stand for Time for Tea, or The F***ing Truth, which is used to describe an extreme case of agreeing opinions. It's the more serious version of QFT, Quite F***ing True. But I digress. A quick rundown of the controls will give us an idea of how we'll be navigating the menus.